Minnesota said Lob City, a.k.a. never been out of the second round. Yeah, and that's the thing. They had high expectations and they couldn't get out of it. And some of this was injuries, but also, they just didn't live up to the expectations. So who else we got? I've been in the Western Conference. Let's go in the Eastern Conference for a little bit. The defending champs, Toronto Raptors. Fred VanVleet, he was speaking about how people were doubting them and how they weren't listening to the doubters, and they shouldn't listen to the doubters. I'm one of them. I'm one of the people that is doubting that they're going to be able to get back to the NBA Finals. And I've never said that like they're garbage or anything. I just said Kawhi put them over the top. There are some teams that are very good, but when you add another piece, it puts you over the top. And Kawhi was that person. And I just think now that DeMar, you traded DeMar, and now Kawhi left, and you still have Siakam, you still have Gasol, you still have Lowry, you still have, you still have these folks. And that's not a problem. You still got Nick Nurse. And you still are the champ, so we got to give you respect. I just think the guy that puts you over the top is no longer on that team. So it's more of it's fair game, if that makes sense. The edge, I'm not going to give the edge to Toronto. I'm going to say it's even. And now what I'm speaking of is the Eastern Conference Final. Yes, I got Toronto getting out of the first round. And yes, I got, them possibly getting out of the second round. But getting into that Eastern Conference Final is going to be tough. It's just going to be tough. Boston is going to be there as well. And Kemba Walker has already said, it's not about scoring. So if Tatum want to be the hero, let him be the hero. If Jaylen Brown want to be the hero, let him be the hero. If Gordon Hayward want to be the hero, let him. And you know what that sounds like? That sounds like someone that has taken a lot of L's. And this scoring thing is overrated for them. And I have no problem with that. But at the end of the game, I don't know, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. Tatum, Brown, Gordon, Hayward, all terrific. But I think you got to give that thing to Kemba. Give that thing to Kemba at the end of the game. And I do think they should lean heavily on Kemba, to not necessarily lead the team, but utilize his skill set. Because he could take, a lot of them could take over a game, but Kemba Walker I just really think Kemba Walker could take his game to another level. Miami, you got to worry about. Indiana, a little bit of Victor Oladipo. And these are just, interesting matchups. This is not something that I'm saying that these teams are going to get on a run and possibly get to the NBA Finals. No. So I told you at the beginning of that, I'm going to go ahead and give you my pick for the NBA Finals. So here it is. I think we already know in the Western Conference, I was going to have the LA Lakers versus the LA Clippers. So it's going to be a battle for LA to go to the NBA Finals. And in the Eastern Conference, you're going to have, I think I may surprise some folks with this one, but I think you're going to have the Bucks, and Boston or Toronto. And I'm kind of leaning toward Boston. And I might have messed this up because about the matchups. Well, you know what? And the matchups could be, falling into place because they still got to play the games. So I'm not going to worry about the matchups. But my pick, ladies and gentlemen, for the NBA Finals. It's going to be who I think a lot of people thought was going to be there last year. And I guess, I guess you can say who people thought the NBA Finals was going to be last year anyway, before a LeBron injury and before Giannis found out that, he got to learn how to shoot, in the playoffs. So having said that, I think I just spoiled it. I'm going to have Lakers versus Bucks, Milwaukee Bucks versus the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA Finals. And like I said, the Western Conference, I think the Clippers will be there. And I'm going to coin flip between the Toronto Raptors and the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics, just kind of like my sleeper team. Could be, the Sixers, as well. But I think Milwaukee is on such a mission to not necessarily, prove people wrong and some get some get back for what happened the previous season. They learned a lesson, and I think they did learn a lesson. So let's move on to, and this hasn't learned a lesson at all, but I'm going to jump back in time for a little bit because this was brought up just recently, so this is why I'm touching base on it. But The Last Dance, we all seen The Last Dance of the Chicago Bulls, and they had Michael Jordan there, and he basically, his face was on the camera 95% of the time, or 90%, however way you want, but majority of the time, Michael Jordan's face was on this whole thing. And one of the things that people were speaking about, and they actually asked Scottie Pippen, was Jordan's criticism of him in The Last Dance. And Scottie Pippen went out and said, hey, I didn't have a problem with it. It's not like, I'm upset. And he said that was 30 years ago anyway. So who's mad after 30 years? Which is a great point by Scottie. But here's the thing. And what is the discussion is that Scottie Pippen and this injury that he had to his foot, he waited late to get the surgery done. All, because there was a contract dispute. He wanted to get his money and everything, and the Bulls didn't want to pay him. So I guess it was like, I'll show you. I'm just not going to play, and I'm going to be injured, and let's see how you guys do without me since I'm not that valuable. And they struggled, and they talked about it in there, and Michael Jordan called him selfish, or, it was a selfish move by Scottie. I don't understand why anyone would really I wouldn't want to ask Scottie Pippen if he was bothered by Michael Jordan criticism. For one particular reason. Michael Jordan is a savage. I mean, that probably was a compliment. That probably was something nice that Michael Jordan, in that Last Dance, and all the stuff that he was talking and saying to people, and Scotty Burrell, how he was just every day on Scotty Burrell. And we're talking about Scottie Pippen or Scott Burrell. I just call him Scott Burrell. That was the least of Pip concerns. And plus they won. Now, if they had won anything, maybe Scottie would have had something to say about it. But it still would have been the same thing. Michael Jordan was he was who he was, back then. And he got on people. He said some things and really harsh. And so him saying it now is the same thing. It's probably not to the same magnitude as probably how he would have said it 30 years ago, 25 years ago. But he said it. That's just Michael Jordan. And I think Scottie has accepted it. I'm not saying that he liked it, but I think he's just accepting it, just like, hey, I got to deal with it, So we're going to get off that. I just want to talk about that, really quick. But NFL, the NFL. Man, folks is they going here, there, up, all over the place. I mean, we got a lot of players as of late. And we were talking about this on Saturday's show on the WaitAMinuteShow.com about opt-outs. And we had one, it was Kansas City Chiefs left tackle that opted out. He was the first person. And then we had another player, and I can't remember who the player name was, to opt out, a little bit after him. But then after that, it seems like the floodgates opened up, and now You got all these players that are opting out. No major marquee name we've had so far, but we got some people that are very noticeable, names in football if you follow football. So Andre Smith was one of them for the Baltimore Ravens. You had the Patriots lost 6 people. They got Dante Hightower, Patrick Chung, and Marcus Cannon. Those are going to be, critical pieces to their team. Damian Williams just recently, I think today, Damian Williams recently opted out. Who else? Kyle Petco, Star Lu, and I hope I'm pronouncing this man's name right. Lutulei, he opted out, and all of this is really, due to this COVID-19. And all of this is a safety concern. Nate Solder, I forgot. Nate Solder for the New York Giants, he just opted out. Devin Funchess, he just got to, sign with the Green Bay Packers, and now he's opted out. So there's a long list of players that have opted out. And it goes back to what we're saying, and a lot of people are starting to heat this thing up with the question of how is the NFL going to How are they going to get this season completed? How do they expect? And you just had, Lance Johnson just was announced with COVID-19. How do you expect really to get through a season without any significant numbers dealing with this COVID-19? Because we're going to talk about another sports franchise that's dealing with major COVID-19 problems. And it's something that the NFL should be watching. And I'm sure they're watching this too. Guy after guy after guy is opting out because they're just looking at it as it's not worth it. It's not worth it for whatever reason. Got a kid, got parents, them themselves. You got players who, were dealing with cancer themselves. They don't want to subject themselves to it, and I totally get it. It's their decision, and whatever it is, I support. Because no one can take care of them but them. Just because you want, your sports or whatever, I keep telling you, I'm going to keep saying it. 12 games. Max. I'm going to stick with that. Could be even less. But 12 games max. And I'll tell you why on the other side of the break, why 12 games max that we're looking at. Another franchise found out, had to deal with this the hard way. We'll talk about that team on the other side of the break. It's the Wait a Minute Show. And we'll be back after these words.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Vince Wright, the sports governor, and you know me from the Sports Done Right show. But when I'm not doing Sports Done Right, I'm in the executive mansion chilling with the Wait a Minute show. That's right, Jelani Lopan. Indeed. Keep it tuned here, y'all. The Wait a Minute show. My name is Vince Wright, and I approve this message.
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
Being good at life means getting your finances together so you can focus on the moments that matter most. With over 170 years of expertise, New York Life Insurance Company provides you with benefits you can enjoy while you're, living. So give me, Doug Stewart, your local New York Life agent, a call. I can help you build a solid financial future to help you and your family be good at life. You can reach me at 888-770-8073 or look for me at NewYorkLife.com.
Do you want your next Atlanta event to be memorable? If so, have Drinking Color at your next function. Drinking Color is sophisticated bartending that creates signature cocktails for your special occasion. Wow your family, friends, and business associates next time with Drinking Color. You can